Hello there, my dear students. In this lecture video, I'll be discussing about torque or the moment of force. Okay, so this will help you answer problem set number 8. Torque. Ayan. So torque is also known as moment of force, but engineers simply call it as moment. Yan. So our symbol for torque is Greek letter tau. So it's like English letter that is cursive. And then to denote that it is a vector quantity, we put the vector sign on top of it. Now, simply said, when we speak of torque, we are measuring the rotating ability of a force. So it's a number that describes the rotating ability of a force, okay, rotating ability of a force, or the ability of a force to cause rotation in an object. Okay, I hope that's clear. So please take note that torque, although it's very much related with force, but they are two different and distinct physical quantities. What is common though between torque and force, the applied force, is that, what do you think is the common between the two of them? Correct. With the vector symbol on top of them, they are both vector quantities. No? So they're vectors, meaning to say you have to determine its magnitude or the strength. Okay? And then, most importantly, the direction where it's going. So even if torque and force are two different quantities, we will learn in this discussion how related they are. Yan. So it's important that at this point of your study, you already understand, you also understand the concepts under angular kinematics, no, or angular mechanics. That is why that uh, part of our study is earlier. No, the angular kinematics is it has to be studied earlier than torque. Now, as an overview, we learned in the dynamics of translational motion. So if you recall, let's just recall the terms first so that every time I say it, you know what it means. So when we speak of translational motion, 'di ba? I hope you recall na ito yung motion ng particle where it's not rotating, but the particle can either be moving on the x-axis, yan, straight lang ganyan, so that its velocity translational is along the x, or it can also be along the y, yan, if it is going upward, or it can also be in a projectile, for example. So meron siyang velocity, meron siyang vx, meron din siyang vy. Ayan, so that's translational. But when we speak of rotational, okay, I think I've mentioned this in the earlier videos, but since it's very important, I believe there's the need to repeat it, no? So for rotational motion, of course, the object, it's the orientation of the point within the object that changes. So for example, you have point A here. As the object rotates, then point A moves in a circular path or just even a curved path, no? So pag combination na ng translational and rotational, then say for example, the ball now, aside from rotating with a certain angular velocity, okay, then it can also be moving translationally while it's rotating. So this is now a combination of translational and rotational. Okay, so in the two kinds of motion here, class, uh, translational motion, so say for example, if we want an object to accelerate translationally, what do we need? According to Newton's second law of motion. Yes, you are correct. For this particle to accelerate, so when we speak of acceleration, whether it speeds up in a straight line, whether it slows down in a straight line, or whether it moves in constant speed but changing direction. Tama ba? Like moving in a curve. So uh, a particle will only have a translational acceleration if and only if, of course, there is a net force that is not zero. So according to the second law, a net force that is not zero will be causing a mass of a system to accelerate. Greater net force, greater acceleration. Less mass, greater acceleration also. So that's how we define net force. That a net force is something that you need to apply on an object if you want its velocity to change. Remember, a change in velocity per time, diba, that's acceleration. So every time I say, if you want its velocity to change, that's another way of saying na the particle is accelerating. So in other words, a non-zero net force is needed for a particle to translationally accelerate. Now, that's for the dynamics of translational motion. Dito si torque ngayon, the net force in translational is analogous to the net torque that is needed to cause translational acceleration. I mean, rotational acceleration. So in other words, itong si second law, we can somehow say that if we want an object to have an angular acceleration, okay, let's recall. Angular acceleration. Can you still recall the symbol for angular acceleration? Correct. We have alpha, and then we have subscript z to remind us that the axis of rotation is in the z-axis. Please review the video on angular kinematics in case you forgot about this. So if acceleration translational is change in velocity per time, alpha here, the angular acceleration, let's say average along the z is the change in the angular velocity per time. So if we want the angular velocity, this is the spinning per second, ito, di ba? Spinning speed per second ito. This is in radian per second, si omega. Kasi si v is in meter per second. Yan. So, if we want, for example, this wheel to rotate faster from an initial velocity omega sub 0, you want it to have another value of omega after a final time t. This is when time is 0. Then we need a non-zero torque so that this acceleration will happen. So analogously, kung rotational motion ang pinag-uusapan, there has to be a non-zero torque. Okay, so the net torque now is now equivalent to the this is translational inertia, si mass. We have now rotational inertia for I, and then translational acceleration becomes angular acceleration. Yan, along the z. Okay. Ayan. So, but I will not discuss this much in detail, no? Itong part na ito kasi I don't think we have enough time for that. My bias here is to discuss about torque in relation to statics. Okay? But I find the need to discuss this just to give you a generic overview of the relationship of torque and force and acceleration and in rotational and translational. So I am inviting you to read more to learn more about this. Itong si I, this is what we call rotational inertia. Yan. In the usual in-person instruction pre-COVID, we're still able to discuss until here, no? But with the new way of teaching learning this school year, I already expected that we will be covering much less topics compared to the pre-COVID. But anyway, I will just give the most important ones to you. But if you are more interested, because I believe that this idea of rotational inertia, you will learn more of this again in your higher engineering courses. So I will just give the similarities, no, between this second law of Newton in the translational motion and also the Newton's second law in rotational. So ayan siya. So kung si mass is naka-kilogram yan and then acceleration is meter per second squared, almost the same din naman dito. Okay? So si rotational inertia, this is it's not in kilograms, but this is kilogram meter squared, because rotational inertia is, you have the summation of the product of the mass of the ith particle and the square, where I is from 1, I'm sorry, to kung ilan sila na number of particles. No? So the unit for rotational inertia would be kilogram square meter. Yan. And then rotational inertia, si alpha, I've discussed this in the earlier videos under angular kinematics. So our unit here would be radian per square meter. So that the unit of torque here will be Newton meter. Ayan. Okay? So if translational inertia here, si mass, is the measurement of how resistant an object is to any changes in its state of motion. Ganon din si rotational inertia. If the rotational inertia value of a system is a big number, then it means it requires greater torque if you want its spinning to change, no? From slow to fast, or for alpha to happen. Parang ganon din. So, kaya it's called rotational inertia. Okay? Ayan. So, my goal here is just to let you know the relationship, no, of, or the two phases of Newton's second law. One is for translational and the other is for rotational. Ayan. How many minutes na ba am I going on here? I don't want this to be very long. Okay. So, I think I have to stop here for a while, no, because I don't want to have a very long video. I will discuss the definition, the numerical definition of torque in the next video. Okay? Until then.